Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Gestational Diabetic. I am your host, Tracy Houston. Normally, I would give you a disclaimer saying that, I'm here to inform you and empower you so that you can be a confident member of your healthcare team and all that. But today's episode is going to be a little different. I don't have any specific specific topic to talk about. Rather, I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening. This is the week of Christmas. Today's date is actually December 21st, 2020. And so I'm going to be taking the next 2 weeks off of the podcast so that I can just kind of regroup and get some good planning done and get some recording done in advance so that I can give you guys what I want. I actually just announced it on my Instagram stories that in January, I'm starting the journey of becoming a registered dietitian. And, I had taken nutrition classes before, informal ones, and it wasn't really towards a degree program or anything like that. And after going through this journey for the blog and now the podcast for almost 3 years, now about 2.5 years, I just really feel like I want to be able to help you guys more and be a part of the community where, where I can actually give nutrition advice and be covered by it over business insurance and all that stuff. So I'm starting that journey of becoming a registered dietitian. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately for everyone's sake, that normally takes, some time. And for me, I don't have to do all of the schooling, but there are some prerequisites that I do need to take care of. And so for me, that's probably going to be 1.5 to 2 years journey to get that done. And even actually the requirements to become a registered dietitian are the standards are very high, because even after you finish schooling, before you can test to become a registered dietitian, you have to do a year-long internship. So it'll probably be a good 3 years before I'm actually a registered dietitian. But in that time, there are things that I can do. There are like certifications that I can have to still be able to give you guys professional nutrition advice. So since that starts in January, this whole month, actually, I've really been trying to get my mind prepared for it, because I know it's going to be a lot. I had literally planned for my life for me to get like all of my schooling done in my 20s so that in my 30s, I wouldn't have to do that, because I knew I would, probably most likely have kids at that time. And I didn't want to have to deal with kids and school. And here I am, I didn't know that I would be going down this nutrition route, even though it's always, like, literally since I was a kid, food and nutrition and food production and all that stuff has always interested me. But to be going this route now, it seems crazy when I think about it, but it really is just a plan coming full circle, all things considered. So I'm super excited for that. And of course, I'm going, like, as I learn things about food and stuff like that, I'm going to be sharing that with you guys, be it here on the podcast or maybe in my recipes for the blog or something like that. But most likely on my Instagram. I'm probably going to be on Instagram a whole lot more now, since the dynamic of my business is having to change. So I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that for sure you're not going to hear from me in the podcast for another 2 weeks. And after that, I hope to have some really awesome content lined up for you guys. And that's actually where I need your help. So whether you leave it here, like in your podcast app, where you leave a rating and review, if you want to tell me there, or if you want to tell me on Instagram or on my blog, email me. All my stuff is really the same, but I'll have all that stuff in the show notes, every way that you can reach me. I need your help. I need to know what it is that you guys want to hear, who you want to hear from, what you want to know more about. It's really hard to try to get content ideas for you guys, simply because I can look for the most Googled questions, but I've noticed that the most Googled questions are very few compared to the amount of questions that are being asked in the Facebook groups. And it's hard to keep up with the Facebook groups because new moms are coming in there all the time, and they're asking a lot of times the same question, but they have new questions and they want to know, they want to try to figure out statistics themselves and see what their probability is in having a healthy baby and all that stuff. And so I think that it would just be more helpful if you guys tell me what you want to hear. What questions do you have? And that way I can search out those answers, research those answers, or search out the people that can help with those answers. For example, I know NSTs come up a lot. What it is and why do you do it and how often do you have to do it and stuff like that. So that is one of the podcast episodes that I do have in the works to talk about NSTs, everything about NSTs. So if you guys can do that, I would greatly appreciate it. That way I can get some good content lined up for you guys and for the moms coming along after you. The bottom line is I just want to be able to support you guys in the ways that you want to be supported. So whatever you have, I'm here, I'll take it, and I'll get you that information. Also, I wanted to let you know that I checked in with Jordan. Do you remember Jordan from episode 4, where she wasn't an expert interview or anything like that? She was just a mom who wanted to share her story about what happened in her pregnancy. In her pregnancy, she had quote unquote undiagnosed gestational diabetes, and it was undiagnosed simply because the hospital gave her the wrong result. And so she didn't know that she had it, and she just continued on in her pregnancy like everything was fine. And so she came on to tell her story about that entire experience and her son. And when we did the interview, she was also pregnant with her second child. And so I've been thinking about Jordan, waiting for her to deliver her baby and give us an update and everything like that. And so she did give an update. She said that she had a healthy baby boy. He's 6 weeks as of last week, and he didn't have any sugar issues. He was 9 pounds, 3 ounces, and he was born at 39 weeks. I forget how many days, but yeah, so basically she did not have gestational diabetes in this second pregnancy, but she did still control her diet so that she would not have any blood sugar issues. And she did check her blood sugar regularly to make sure that there weren't going to be any surprises in this pregnancy. And so it's just awesome to hear that she delivered a healthy baby and she had a good pregnancy and to term as well, because I believe her first baby, I want to say, was 36 or 37 weeks. I don't know. You guys will have to go back and listen to her story. So yeah, yay for Jordan, right? And then I also wanted to address one of the reviews that was left on the podcast. She didn't leave her name. It was Butterfly My was the username. But basically, you asked if you had already done too much damage to your baby for it to be repaired because you were having high blood sugars, obviously, because you ended up failing the 1 hour test. And then even though you exercised and changed your diet in between the 1 hour and 3 hour test, you still failed the 3 hour test. And I forget how many weeks you say you were, but you were 20, I want to say 26 or 28 weeks. And the answer to that is no, you didn't do irreparable damage. You caught it early enough, and that's great. And the good thing is that high blood sugars normally don't come until towards the end of pregnancy, which is why gestational diabetes isn't tested until the 24 to 28 week mark. And so if whether or not you had high blood sugar since the beginning of pregnancy or whether or not it started literally the day before you took the test, it doesn't matter. The point is that you caught it at a great time because you still have half of your pregnancy to go. And so that's plenty of time to quote unquote reverse the effects of what has been happening, because the majority of the baby's growth is in the last trimester. So don't worry about it. I'm sure that I don't know whether you've still been diet controlled, or maybe you had to go on insulin or some kind of medication. It doesn't matter. But I'm sure that as long as your readings are fine, everything is going to be perfectly fine for you and your baby. So I wouldn't worry about anything. I will, however, say that, keep in mind about the things that you learned during this time about pairing foods and blood sugar balance, and use that for you and your baby as you guys move forward, so that you're not met with possible diabetes diagnosis later on. And thank you so much for your review. I'm so glad that the podcast has been helpful to you. Other than that, guys, I really don't have much else to say except Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for whatever holiday you're celebrating around this time, and a Happy New Year. I'm excited to take this time off and just kind of regenerate my ideas and regroup and kind of rest as I prepare for this new journey. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys and to share everything that I learned. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I would go over there and do it. My handle is at the Gestational Diabetic Chef. And I have some really fun, cool stuff planned for Instagram coming up. So, like I said, that's probably where I'm going to be most active from now on. So, if the reels are the new hype, I know I've been in a black hole of watching reels lately, and it's so funny to me because I'm just not even a social media person really. But when I started watching reels, I'm just sucked in. So I have some really cool, funny content planned for that. And yeah, again, like I said, if you have anything on your mind that you want me to research or get an expert interview on, address, or whatever it is, please leave it in the review or just look down in the show notes, and I will leave my email and everything else there so that you guys can contact me and let me know, or send me a DM on Instagram or a message on Facebook, wherever. You can find me wherever, okay? So anyways, guys, I'll talk to you later.